Good day, everyone. Today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic in international business foreign exchange. I'm Alicia Sapel, and together with my co members, we'll walk you through this topic. Don't worry, we'll keep it simple and relatable. So let's start. Now, before we begin, a quick overview lang of what we'll cover. First, we'll define what foreign exchange is and why it's important, especially in global trade. Then, we'll talk about exchange rates, paano siya nagwo-work and how it affects everyday things like imported products. We'll also explain appreciation and depreciation, yung pagtaas and pagbaba ng value ng currency. And lastly, we'll look at how the foreign exchange market actually works. So, habang nakikinig kayo, keep these in mind lang para mas madali siyang ma-follow. So, proceeding with foreign exchange. What is foreign exchange? Actually, it has three meanings. First, as a concept, it's basically the system that allows countries to trade and pay each other. Parang backbone siya ng international business. Second, it refers to foreign currency itself. Now, for example, for us here in the Philippines, US dollar or yen, those are considered foreign exchange. And third, it's also a market. The forex market. Dito nagaganap yung buying and selling of currencies. And take note, hindi siya physical place. It's a global network. Now proceeding the with the importance in international trade and business. Now that we understand what foreign exchange is, let's talk about why it matters so much. First, it facilitates international trade. Foreign exchange allows countries to pay each other. Without it, businesses wouldn't be able to import or export because of different currencies. So parang bridge siya that connects economies. Second, it is the largest financial market in the world. Over $4 trillion are traded every single day. To give you an idea, in just 1 week, mas malaki pa ito than the actual or the annual GDP of the United States. Ganun siya ka-massive. Third, it provides three essential functions. First, clearing of currencies. This is where one currency is exchanged for another to complete transactions. Second, provision of credit. It helps businesses manage the gap between buying goods and selling them. And third, insurance against risk, or what we call hedging. This allows businesses to protect themselves from sudden changes in exchange rates. So, proceeding, let's take a simple example. Sabihin natin, 1 US dollar is equal to 57 pesos. So, if you have $10, you just multiply. So, that's 570 pesos. If baligtad naman, you divide. So, 570 pesos divided by 57 equals $10. Ganun lang siya ka-easy and basic. Multiply or divide depending on the situation. But this simple process is actually what drives the entire forex market. Now, proceeding with the major currencies in international trade. Considering that not all currencies are equally used. Some currencies are more dominant in global trade. So let's take a look at the major ones. As you can see here in our table, the US dollar is the most widely used, then followed by the euro, Japanese yen, and the British pound. You'll also notice currencies like Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, and Swiss franc. So basically, these are the major players in international trade. Sila yung madalas ginagamit in global transactions. Let's look a bit deeper pa, no? The US dollar is the most dominant, diba? It's used in around 88% of forex transactions. Kahit oil or gold yan, usually in dollars talaga. Next is the euro, which is widely used in Europe and also in global trade. Then the yen and pound. Both are stable and trusted currencies. And for example, we have the Indian rupee. Even if smaller share siya, it's still important. But it's still important in the large economy. because countries have different regulation when it comes to forex trading. Now, let's move on, no, with the exchange rates. So, what exactly is an exchange rate? Simply put, it's the price of one currency in terms of another. Parang presyo lang siya. Price, presyo. But instead of goods, this one, it's money. And just like any price, it fluctuates. It can go up and it can go down depending on different factors. Now, we have buying and selling rates. When you go to a bank or money changer, mapapansin nyo na may dalawang rates talaga yan. First is the bid rate. This is the price at which the bank buys from you. Second is the ask rate. This is the price at which they sell to you. And the difference between the two is their profit. So usually, mas mahal yung buying mo kaysa sa selling kasi dun sila kumikita. Proceeding with the spot versus forward exchange. This talks about the timing. It's all about the timing here. If the transaction happens almost immediately or abrupt, that's called spot exchange. Usually happens within 2 business days or but if sa future pa, that's called forward exchange. It is for an example, a company knows na they'll buy or they'll pay rather when a company knows na magbabayad sila after 3 months, they can lock in the exchange rate today para hindi sila maapektuhan if magbago man yung rate later. So this helps businesses manage risks, which we'll talk more about later.
Factors influencing exchange rate. Okay. Now that we understand what is exchange rate, ang susunod naman yung tanong is, bakit nga ba siya nagbabago? Like, why does a currency goes up or goes down? At the simplest level, it's really just supply and demand. Kasi kapag mas maraming gustong bumili ng currency, of course, mas tumataas yung value niya. And kapag mas marami nagbebenta, bumababa naman. But of course, may mga factors din behind that. First is economic performance. Kapag yung country is they are doing well, like mataas yung GDP, mababa naman yung unemployment. Mas attractive siya sa mga investors, so mas demand yung currency. Second is yung central bank policy and yung interest rate. Medyo big deal siya kapag yung interest kasi is tumataas, mas na-attract yung mga investors kasi mas mataas yung returns mula sa kanila. So, bibili sila ng currency, then tataas yung value. Third is yung trade balance. If a country export more than its import, mas maraming demand para sa currency. Pero if mas marami naman yung import compare sa export, pwede siyang humina. Then of course, political stability. Siyempre, yung mga investors gusto nila ng stable countries. Kapag magulo kasi yung country, yung mga tao, they tend to pull out their money. Okay. Lastly, yung market sentiment and speculation. Minsan gumagala yung currency just because people expect it to move. Plus unexpected event like disasters or conflict. Ganun. So halo-halo talaga yung economic and human behavior. Next is yung type of exchange rate system. So aside from factors, yung kanina, important din yung kung papaano yung country na ginamanage nila yung currency. So there are 2 main types. First is yung fixed exchange rate. So dito, yung government yung nagko-control ng rate at kinikip nila na stable yon. They intervene if needed, like bibili or magbebenta sila ng currency. Second is yung tinatawag na floating exchange rate, which is more common. Dito, bahala na ang market. Pure supply and demand lang. Mas flexible siya compared doon sa fixed exchange rate. Next is yung currency appreciation. Now, let's talk about appreciation. Appreciation means lumalakas lang yung currency niya. For example, from 58 peso per dollar naging 55. Ibig sabihin, stronger yung peso. For importers, good news ito siya. Mas mura na bumibili from abroad. For exporters naman, medyo kabaliktaran, no? Medyo bad news to siya para sa kanila kasi mas mahal na yung product nila for foreign buyers. So, same situation but different effect. May winners and may losers. Next is yung currency depreciation. So, opposite naman siya ng appreciation kanina. This is when kapag humihina yung currency, like from 58, naging 68 peso per dollar. Ganon. This time, yung mga exporters naman yung nakaka-benefit kasi mas mura yung mga product nila from abroad. At yung mga importers naman and mga consumer, sila naman yung nagsasuffer kasi mas mahal na yung import like fuels, foods, and materials. And this can be lead to inflation, no? Especially kapag dependent tayo sa isang import lang. Next is yung foreign exchange risk. Because of this movement, nagkakaroon ng foreign exchange risk. Basically, risk siya na you gain or lose money dahil lang sa nagbabago yung exchange rate. If you have a long position, mas marami kang foreign currency asset. If you gain, it appreciate. Kapag nasa short ka naman na position, mas marami kang liabilities. So, you benefit kapag nag-depreciate. Pero ang pinaka-safest is yung close position kasi balance yung asset and balance yung liability. Pero in real life, bihira yun siya na mangyari. So yung business, it really needs to manage this risk. Next is yung foreign exchange market. So, saan ba nangyayari ito? So yung foreign exchange market, hindi siya physical place. It's a global network like banks, investors, companies. That's why 24 hours siya na active. While one country is natutulog or sleep, another one naman is nag-trade. So tuloy-tuloy lang siya. Ganun. Next is yung foreign exchange market participants. So there are two main level in the market, no? Yung wholesale, yun yung una. First is wholesale. This is the big players like bank and institution. Sila yung majority ng transaction. Then yung retail, yung isa. This includes business and individuals like us. Yung mga bank, central bank, client, ganun. Why business use Forex? Okay, so bakit nga ba ginagamit ni business ang Forex? First, for international trade. Siyempre, kailangan nila magbayad and tumanggap ng different currency. Second is to manage risk na rin, no? For example, yung mga airline, hedge fuel, cost para iwas yung mga malalaking losses, gano'n. Third is for investor. Yung mga companies nag-expand sila abroad or nagre-raise sila ng capital sa ibang countries. So, kailangan talaga nila ng Forex. Next is paying for import and receiving payment. So, merong two common activities. First is paying for imports. So, kailangan nilang bumili ng foreign currency, no? To pay the suppliers. Next is yung receiving payment. Yung mga exporters naman, sila yung nag-earn ng foreign currency. Then, kino-convert nila yon into local. So, yung Forex, basically, gina-allow niya yung money to move across the country. So, ganun lang siya. Next is managing exchange rate risk. So, and going back to risk, this can be, pwede siyang i-manage, no? This can be actually managed, no? Kapag yung business gumamit siya ng tools like forward, future, and option to protect themselves, hindi naman totally mawawala yung risk. Pero at least kontrolado siya. That's very important for maintaining stable profit. So next, so yun lang. This brings us to end of our presentation. We discussed what foreign exchange is and how exchange rate move and how business deal with it in real life. So thank you so much for listening.